So players I like for the 2026 NFL draft, I really like Ruben Bain a lot, the edge rusher from Miami. Bain has a really an NFL body. He's a guy that I tell people this when I was watching him play in high school. He looked like a NFL player playing high school football. The guy was just it said he's done a lot of work on his body. You can tell that he's a guy that looks like he's ready. He was ready for the NFL in high school. Just physical, strong player, tough, can rush the passer, good against the run. Mesidor, his teammate for Miami, another good player too. He actually led Miami in sacks this year. So Mesidor, Ruben Bain Jr., two guys I like. I like David Bailey a lot. Jordan Tyson, the receiver from Arizona State, I like. I didn't get to watch him as much. Fernando Mendoza, obviously, I like him. It's awesome that the Raiders should be able to lock him up at number one. But yeah, David Bailey, I sent my buddies his tape in the summer when he was at Stanford, sitting way down on the consensus big board. I think he was like 100. He might have been in like 100th ranked in the consensus. It's just funny how guys shoot up. That's what's so cool about like the NFL draft process as the season goes along. You see guys can really rise up. That's just cool. David Bailey, out of Stanford, and not a lot of people were talking. When you're scouting in the summer, like some guys talk about, there's guys that no one talks about, and you're like, dang, that guy's pretty good. And you see him shoot up, and you're like, oh yeah, you kind of saw that coming. But other people didn't really know who he was. David Bailey, the way he gets off the line of scrimmage, the way he can close on quarterbacks, his ability to move laterally, the way he can just navigate through traffic. He's just got a lot of good traits, except for his weight. That's going to be the kind of the question with David Bailey. What he weighs at the combine, especially if he's under 250. Because, this is a theory I've heard from a lot of people. Some of the top edge rushers in the NFL draft, most of them are 270, 280. David Bailey, he's listed at 250. I think the hope is at the combine, if you perform, you hope you want him to at least be, at the very least 250, obviously. But if he's comes anyways, like even if he's 247, 248, that's kind of, it's very tough, to really threaten with, even though he has the ability, he has power. I think it's really hard to be a threat with power, if you're under, when you're under 270, 280, especially, if you're under 250. But yeah, David Bailey, I like. Carnell Tate from Ohio State. Carnell Tate, as a Michigan fan, yeah, you really saw what he can do in that Michigan game, and not even just the Michigan game, you saw all season what that guy can do. Caden Proctor, I like. Francisco Mauanoa. Offensive tackles have really gone. Offensive tackle seemed to be, a premium position that goes early in the draft. Mauanoa from Miami and Caden Proctor, you get to feel like those guys will go early. So yeah, Ruben Bain, David Bailey, Mauanoa, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, some guys I like for this upcoming 2026 NFL draft. Fernando Mendoza as well.